Okay, so this is the first thing you'll see when you open a new project in Logic. This section here is the arrange section where all your MIDI and audio regions will go when you've done some recording. This part here is where all your tracks will be listed, and this part on the left hand side is a master section, so you've got your channel settings, your sends, your ins and outs, automation, panning, levels, and your master levels and panning. This part down the bottom here is the transport bar, which we'll go into a bit more detail on later on, along with these lists down the bottom and these in the top right hand corner. As we go along, if there's any shortcuts for what I'm doing, they'll pop up in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is creating new tracks and the difference between all the different kinds of tracks that you can get in Logic. So to start with, we'll just click on this drop down menu here, which gives you all your track options, and we're just going to simply start by clicking on new track. So as you can see here, we've got a choice between audio, software instrument and external MIDI. The only two we're going to worry about at the moment are audio and software instrument. Software instrument is Logic's version of general MIDI. So we'll start off with 7 MIDI tracks, just to take that up to a full 8, including that first preset. Okay, so this has brought up one of the lists in the top right hand corner, the media list. This is just a list of all the presets that are available in Logic with all the different synths. This is the simplest way to get sounds out of Logic, but later on we'll be looking into making our own sounds and not using the presets. So for now we're just going to go for one of the drum presets. Let's go for a hip hop remix kit. The drum kit's not going to sound amazing because it's coming through my little laptop speakers, but you can hear we've got a kick, snare, hats, and various other parts. So now we're just going to have a go at recording a basic drum beat into Logic. The best thing to do is start off by creating a 4-bar loop, and you do this by clicking and dragging along the timeline at the top. The green area will be the loop. Make sure you click tracks on, make sure it's highlighted blue, and if you look down here we've got a tempo of 120 BPM and we're in 4/4 time. So now all you need to do is click record and record in real time with your MIDI keyboard. There is one other way to do this, and it's inputting it manually. We'll look at this in the next tutorial when we go about editing MIDI and audio. So for now we're just going to assume you've got a MIDI keyboard and record it in real time. All you have to do when you finish is hit stop, and then you'll get this green box come up here, which is your MIDI region. Now is probably a good time to have a look at these little tools down in the left hand corner, because these will help you navigate around your arrange window. Each one has a different shortcut as well, which, like I said earlier, will be coming up in the bottom right hand corner to show you what to press. This one is go to the beginning of the track, so click it, takes you back to the beginning. This one here is play from the beginning, so no matter where you are in your arrange window, you click this button, it'll go back to the beginning and play your track. These just scroll bars forward, bars back, stop, play, pause and record. Fairly obvious really. So that was the quickest and easiest way to record a MIDI track into Logic. Next thing we're going to look at is an audio track. So if we go back up to our track drop down menu here, new, this time we'll select audio, make sure it's on mono, and your input and output is basically depending on if you've got an audio interface, which we'll look at later on. Create that track, and that audio track has come up underneath your MIDI track in the track list on the left hand side. So now we just need to look at getting a loop into your arrange window. The easiest way to do that is to go to the loop section in this list that we've got up here. So if you click on loops, you can try any of these just to find a loop that you want. So ideally you want one that's 120 BPM like your tempo down the bottom. So let's have a look. Okay, I quite like that one. So once you've decided on one you want, all you've got to do is click and drag it onto that audio track. There you go, see it's come up underneath your MIDI track. So now to listen to it, all you have to do is go back to the beginning of the track and press play. You can tell at the moment it's not really quite in time, and that'll be the MIDI track that you've played in real time. We'll look at that in the next tutorial under editing MIDI. So there you go, that's the easiest way to get sounds into Logic and start creating your own tracks. Now it's up to you guys to just have a play around, have a look at all the different presets and all the different instruments and just see what you can come up with.